Dear students, in continuation with the last class, today we are going to discuss about interference and system capacity. Okay, so here today we will discuss about interference and system capacity in the trunking and grade of service. Okay, trunking and grade of service. So interference and system capacity is one of the major factors affecting the performance of cellular radio systems. Okay, sources of interference consist of another mobile inside the same cell, another mobile inside the same cell, an ongoing call in neighboring cell. So it means that a call is going on. So what how it influences the interference. Okay. So how what is the performance of that cell? Okay. So interference on voice signals could give rise to crosstalk. Sometimes what happens due to this interference, there may be a chances of crosstalk. Okay, crosstalk, some disturbances or some noise. Okay, so where the caller hears interference in the background due to the presence of an unwanted transmission. Okay, it is because when it is connected between two persons, a unwanted noise may be generated because of some non-issues. Okay, so due to the presence of an unwanted transmission, as it is transmitting, the connection is established, but in between the connection there is some noise you may get. Okay, that is known as the interference, right? So interference is very dangerous in urban areas. Interference is very dangerous in urban areas due to the presence of larger base stations and mobile with greater resistive factor noise. Okay, so it is the by using the mobile stations, base stations, it is difficult. It is very dangerous for the urban areas. Okay, and interference has been accepted as a major obstruction in increasing the capacity of a station system. Okay, so interference has been accepted as a major obstruction, major problem in the society of the global area. Okay, capacity of a system, and is largely responsible for dropped calls in a network. So because of this interference, calls also may be dropped. Calls also may be dropped. A new connection also can be established, or a new noise also can be interfere. Okay, the two major types of interferences that are taken consideration while allocating channels to the calls are co-channel and adjacent channel interference. That is co-channel and adjacent channel interference. What is co-channel? That we discussed yesterday, is it not? What is co-channel? It is nearby the neighbor, the towers comes under the tower, cell tower, which are the connections are there, are co-channels. Okay, and adjacent channel interference. Okay, so co-channel interference and system capacity. Co-channel interference and system capacity. The channel reuse approach is very useful for increasing the efficiency of radio spectrum utilization. Okay, so the co-channel interference and system capacity is it approaches is very useful for increasing the efficiency of radio spectrum utilization. Okay, so but it results at the same time it results in co-channel interference because the same radio channel is repeatedly used in different co-channel cells in network. The same co-channel radio signals are also is using for different co-channel cells in that network. Okay, so in this case the quality of a received signal is very much affected both by the amount of radio coverage area and the co-channel interference. Okay, so it is mingled with for two channels. Okay, so two networks, that is affected both by the amount of radio coverage area and the co-channel interference. Okay, see, co-channel interference takes place when two or more transmitters located within a wireless system. Okay, it is also because of the two transmitters are connected to a radio wireless system, to a radio wireless system, or even a neighboring wireless system also. To the transmitter is more than one transmitter is connected with the wireless located and to the neighbor wireless system also. Okay, which are transmitting on the same radio channel. So which are is connected with the radio channel. Co-channel interference happens when the same carrier frequency, that is base station, reaches the same receiver. Okay, the same information, same signals are received by the base station and the mobile station, mobile phone. Is happens the co-channel interference from two different transmitters. Okay, from two different transmitters. This type of interference is generally generated because channel sets have been allocated to two different cells that are not far enough geographically. So it means it is not far situated considering the geometrically in an area located, so the two signals channels are nearby. Okay, not a large distance. It is enough less distance in the geographically, and their signals are strong enough to cause interference to each other. So the signal strength is very strong, so that it is disturbing the other signals. Okay, so the signals are very strong, so that it is disturbing the neighboring the cells. Okay, thus co-channel interference can either modify the receiver or mask the particular signal. So that what happens? So co-channel interference can be modify, either modify or to mask. Either modify or to masking means covering, or to modify, okay, to a particular signal. It may also merge with the particular signal to cause severe distortion in the output signals. Okay, it may also merge with the particular signal to cause severe distortions in the output signals. Okay, so output signals also may be damaged. Co-channel interference reduction method, second one. Interference is major factor affecting the performance of cellular communication systems. Okay, so in anyhow, interference is the major factor. Just now we seen interference is the major factor affecting the performance of a cellular communication systems. Sources of interference may consist of a different mobile working in the same or in the neighboring cells. Okay, so the sources of interference, what is the purpose, the reason of the interference may consist of a different mobile working in the same or in the different neighboring cells, which are operating in the same frequency band that may leak energy into the cellular band. Okay, so the operating in the same frequency band or in the cellular band also, the signals or maybe leak. Okay, signals may be leak. Cells that use same set of radio channels are called co-channels. Cells that are used for same radio channels are called co-channels. And the interference caused by the received signals coming from these cells is called co-channel interference. The two channels are situated by neighboring signals as cells, and it is also called co-channel interference because it is interfering the nearest cells, it is interfering the co-channel interference. Okay, if the different cells in the cellular network use different radio channels, then the inter-cell interference should be kept at a minimum level. If the cell channels are a far distance, it should be kept at a minimum level. Okay, if the different cells in the cellular network use different radio channels, then the inter-cell interference should be kept at a minimum level. Okay, when the number of mobile users increase and the radio channels available in the system are limited, then in order to satisfy this high demand, the radio channels have to be reused in various cells. obviously. See, when it is the number of mobile users are increased, is it not? Number of mobile users are increased, and the technology which we are using the radio system is very older one, and it is the same capacity of that, is it not? The same capacity. So that what happens? Radio channels will give the disturbance, the difference, is it not? Satisfy this high demand, the radio channels have to be reused in various cells, reused in various cells. Okay, because of the high demand of the mobile users. The co-channel interference can be reduced by the following methods. Okay, the co-channel interference also can be reduced by the following methods, that are increasing the distance between two co-channel cells, increasing the distance between the two co-channels which are situated in the globally, that is, okay, and reducing the antenna heights. Okay, reduce the antenna heights, because what happens, the cell tower antenna, if you reduce this, so that it will not receive the high power the content. Okay, high power transmitter it will not get, so that it will connect to the same cell power. Okay, and using directional antennas, and using the directional antennas, is it not? So cell tower will have the antenna will be directional antenna. Use of diversity schemes at the receiver, use of diversity schemes at the receiver. Okay, so increasing the distance d between two co-channel cells, the a first one is increasing the distance between the two co-channel cells. Increasing the distance between two co-channel cells is increases. Okay, so that it increases the strength of interfering signals from co-channel interfering cells decreases significantly. If it is increasing, the co-channel interfering will be minimized, the co-channel interference will be minimized. Okay, so this results into decrease of the system capacity in terms of channels that are available per cell. So related to that cell, it is very limited, it is very free, and it is not disturbing the interference. So this is resulting the decrease of the system capacity in terms of channels that are available per cell. Okay, reducing the antenna heights. It also, the interference also can be reduced by reducing the antenna height. Okay, if you reduce the antenna height, the interference also will be minimized. Reducing antenna height is a good method to minimize the co-channel interference in some environment. In a type of environment, if you reduce the antenna height also, the interference will not be affected. Okay, so interference will not be affected. In the cellular system design, effective antenna height is considered rather than the actual antenna height. Okay, so it depends on the height of the globality, height of the place, the location. If the location is height, the antenna height should be minimized. If the location, the area is low, the antenna height should be height. Okay, so in the cellular system design, effective antenna height is considered rather than the actual antenna height. Therefore, the effective antenna height changes according to the present location of the mobile unit in such a difficult terrain. Difficult terrain is in the sense it is the area, the place where the antenna is situated. Okay, it depends on the terrain. Okay, using bidirectional antennas, using bidirectional antennas, the use of directional antennas in every cell can minimize the co-channel interference. By using the direction of the antenna also can be minimize the interference, co-channel interference. If the co-channel interference cannot be avoided by a fixed division of co-channel cells. Okay, if the co-channel interference cannot be avoided by a fixed division of co-channel cells. Okay, this will also improve the system capacity even if the traffic increases. Okay, if the traffic is also increased, so even though we can control the interference of the co-channels into. Okay, so the co-channel interference can be further minimized by smartly setting up the directional antenna. By changing the antenna of the direction, we can minimize the interference of the co-channel. Use of diversity schemes at the receiver. Use of the diversity schemes at the receiver. The diversity scheme used at the receiving end of the antenna is an efficient technique for minimizing the co-channel interference. Okay, so the diversity scheme used at the receiving end also will be minimize the interference of the co-channel, because any unwanted action performed at the receiving end to increase the signal interference would not cause further interference. Okay, so unwanted action performed at the receiving end is also increase the signal of interference would not cause further interference. Okay, so therefore interference from the mobile transmitters to the receivers can be significantly reduced. So the interference can be reduced between the transmitters and the receivers. Adjacent channel interference. Adjacent channel interference. Signals from neighboring radio channels also called adjacent channels. Adjacent is okay, side by side. So side by side neighboring radio channels also called adjacent cells leak into the particular channel. So that what happens? The signals may be leak into a particular channel, thus causing adjacent channel interference. So that also the interference also will be caused in the adjacent cells. Adjacent channel interference takes place due to the inability of a mobile phone to separate out the signals of adjacent channels allocated to neighboring cell sites. Okay, so adjacent channel interference takes place due to the inability of mobile phone to separate out the signals. The signals, if it is not able to separate out of adjacent cell to differentiate the cell capacity of adjacent cells also is cause of the interference of the cell channels. Okay, adjacent channel interference can be reduced through careful and thorough filtering and efficient channel allocations. By giving the efficient channel allocation also, we can minimize the interference of the adjacent channels. We can minimize the interference of the adjacent channels by giving efficient channel location. Okay. As each cell is allocated only a portion of the total channels, a cell must not be allocated channels which are located adjacent in frequency. Yes, see, it is limited, the connections is having to a cell located channels, is it not? So a cell is allocated only a portion of the total channels. A portion of the total channels are connected to a cell tower must not be allocated channels which are located adjacently in frequency. So if you are maintaining the frequency of a limited channels, also will be minimize the interference. By maintaining the channel separation as large as possible in a given cell, the adjacent channel interference may well be minimized significantly. Okay, so by maintaining the channel separation, by maintaining the channels separated as large as possible in given cell. Okay, in a cell to separate the channels and the adjacent channels interference may be minimized significantly. Hence, instead of allocating contiguous band of channels to each cell, channels are allocated in such a way that the frequency separation between channels in a given cell should be maximized. Okay, so in a given cell channels should be maximized. So allocating contiguous band of channels to each cell, channels are allocated such a way that the frequency separation, channels are allocated in a such a way that the frequency separation between channels in a given cell should be maximized. Trunking and grade of service. Okay, trunking and grade of service. In cellular mobile communication, the two major aspects that have to be considered with extra care are trunking and grade of service. Okay, the extra care are trunking and grade of service. These aspects are to be planned very well in order to get a better system performance. Okay, so these aspects are to be very good in a plant very well in order to get a better system performance. To increase the performance, we have to maintain this trunking and grade of service. And the grade of service is a standard which is used to define the performance of a cellular mobile communication system by specifying a desired probability of a mobile user acquiring channel access. Okay, so the grade of service is a standard in which used to define the performance of a cellular mobile communication system by specifying a desired probability of a mobile user acquiring channel access. Okay, so when a definite number of radio channels are present in the system, a definite number of radio channels are presented in the system. The cellular communication network depends on a trunking system to fit large number of mobile users in a limited radio band. In a limited radio band, cellular communication network depends on the trunking system to fit large number of mobile users. To fit large number of mobile users in a limited radio band. Okay, so the statistical behavior of mobile users is being exploited by trunking so that a fixed number of channels can be allocated to large mobile users. The statistical behavior of mobile users is being exploited by trunking so that a fixed number of channels can be allocated to large mobile users. So in trunking, large number of mobile users is being accommodated to share the limited radio channels available in a cell. So in a cell, the number of channels are allocated is equally distributed. You can share the limited radio channels to available cell. Okay. So in trunked cellular communication systems, each mobile user present in network is allocated a channel or the basis of a request. Okay. In trunked cellular communication systems, each mobile user present a network is allocated a channel on the basis of a each person, each mobile user is having a network ID is allocated on the basis of a request. Okay. After the call is terminated, the occupied channels immediately go back to the pool of available channels. Yes, if the connection is disconnected, again it is going and stand in the queue so that it is ready to accommodate the new connection. Okay, so it is ready to accommodate the new connection. That is, it is in the pool of available channels. When a mobile user made a request for channels and if all of the radio channels are occupied, then the incoming call is blocked. Okay, so when a mobile user made a request for channels and if all the radio channels are occupied, there is no connection to give the channel, okay, by the mobile user, what happens? The mobile user will be blocked. Then the incoming call is blocked. So that what happens? You will not get the connection even if you are trying to get a call. Okay. In few communication systems, a queue is generally used to keep the requesting mobile users until a channel becomes free. So if the channel is free, automatically queue will observe a new connection. So if the channel is busy, so you have to wait in the queue. Queue is generally used to keep the requesting mobile users until a channel becoming free. Okay, channel becoming free. The grade of service is used to determine the capacity of a user to get access to trunked radio systems during busy hours. Okay, so the grade of service is also is determining, is considering, is monitoring. The grade of service is monitoring the channels, okay, of mobile channels of the radio is access to trunked radio systems during busy hours. Okay, so this is about the system and we'll see further in the next class. If you have any doubts, you can mail me and you can go through the topic.